Good morning everyone. I am Arun Selvi, your English teacher. Happy to meet you all after a long time through this video. Today we are going to learn a new concept that is related to nouns. Still now you have learnt about noun and types of noun. This is something new, but some of the concepts in this chapter you already know that. So before going into the chapter, before introducing this chapter, I want to recall what is a sentence and what is part of a sentence. We all know a sentence is a group of words which gives you some meaning, and a complete sentence will have two parts. What are they? You have already learned this in your lower grades. Recall that. Try to recall it. Yes, they are subject and predicate. In every sentence, every complete sentence, you have two parts. One is subject and one is predicate. Now, we will see what is subject and what is predicate in a particular sentence. Go through this sentence given here. The first one, Geeta sang a song. In this sentence, how you will identify a subject? Your subject is always a naming word. Naming word is nothing but a noun. And when you ask what or who did, then the answer you get is the subject here. So, in this first sentence, Geeta is the subject. So, subject I am marking with S. And what about this rest of the thing? This is called predicate. I am marking that as P. The subject answers the question who or what of the sentence, and predicate tells that what this subject does and what is this particular subject. Now see here, India is a great country. Which is a great country? India. So, it's a subject and rest of that is predicate. See the third sentence here. Monica is my friend. Here, who is your friend? The answer is Monica. So, we are talking about Monica here. So, subject is Monica and the rest of the thing is predicate. Sita is a beautiful girl. Who is a beautiful girl here? Sita. So Sita is the subject here. And rest of the thing is predicate. Now look closer to this sentence. All these subjects are all naming words. Yes. So in this particular sentence, Geeta sang a song. Geeta, the noun, takes which position? It acts as it functions as a subject here. And look here. Sang, what is sang here? Sang is a verb. So I am marking it as V. And song. So it's an object. So the sentence can be further divided into verb and object. This particular sentence, Geeta sang a song, can be divided further as subject plus verb plus object. So when you see these two words, they are naming words, that is noun. So this subject, Geeta takes the subject's position and song takes the object's position. So these both the nouns take some positions. So I can explain this further. I am a woman. I take a position, function as a teacher in the school and as a mother in the house. And you are children in your house, and when you come to school, you are students. So you take different position. You take some position like that. These nouns take some positions. Here both are nouns, still it takes different forms, different positions in this sentence. Similarly, here in the second sentence, India is the subject and country, again country is a noun, it takes the objective position. Similarly, in third sentence, Monica takes the subject's place and my friend takes the object place. Sita here, Sita is subject and beautiful. Beautiful is adjective and girl is a object here. So, in all the sentence we have nouns and these nouns take some positions and functions differently. Somewhere it acts as a subject and somewhere it acts as a object. When these noun takes some different positions, they are called case. So, here today's topic is noun cases. So, what is a case? Case of a noun tells us about the position of that noun in a sentence. It shows the position, how the particular noun functions or what position it takes in a particular sentence. So, we have seen what positions these nouns have taken in a particular sentence. Now, types of noun case. For grade 6, we are going to learn only 3 types. First one is the nominative type, and second one subjective case, and third one is the possessive case. Now, first one, nominative case. Nominative case. When a noun is used as a subject of the verb, it is said to be the nominative case. That means when the noun in the sentence is the subject of the verb, he is the doer of that action, then it takes the position of nominative or the subjective position, subjective case or nominative case. So, nominative and subjective are same here. So, once again we will see the definition. When a noun is used as the subject of the verb, that means he is the doer of the action, it is said to be in the nominative case. In this particular sentences, we will see that. Now, nominative case asks what or who. When you see, these all the sentence have verb here. Yes. First sentence, Amina bought oranges. Right? Here, before this verb bought, who did it? Who bought the oranges? Amina bought. So, Amina takes, the noun Amina takes the position of the subject. Usually, nominative case comes before the verb. When you put who or what before the verb, it gives you the subject or the nominative case. You can identify nominative case in the sentence easily by answering the question what or who before the verb. Now here to the second sentence. The school is closed on Sunday. Now closed is the verb here. So before that, what is closed? So school is closed. So it takes the subject place. School takes the subject place and it acts as a nominative case here. Now third sentence. The birds will soon migrate. Now here, what will soon migrate? The birds will soon migrate. So birds take the nominative position. Now it's the nominative case. So here Amina, school and bird are in subject position and they are nominative case. Now we are move on to objective case. What is objective case? When particular action is done on some noun in the sentence, the subject does some action on the other noun, then that is objective case. So it can be defined as when a noun is used as the object of the verb, then it is said to be in the objective case. See here. When it is told when action is done on some noun, it takes the objective position and it is in the objective case position. So come to this examples here. We are going to identify objective case in the following sentence. So when you put whom or what after the verb, then what answer you get from that question, it is the objective case. It is called objective case. For example, first sentence, the dog is in the kennel. Who is in the kennel or what is in the kennel? The dog is in the kennel. So this is subject. Now when you ask the dog is, where was the dog? The answer is kennel. So here kennel takes the position of object and it is in the objective case position. Now Amina bought oranges. Here Amina bought what? What she bought? She bought oranges. So that is object. It takes the oranges takes the position of object in this sentence. So it is in objective case. The easy tip to identify subjective case and objective case in the sentence. When look into the second sentence, there is a verb in between subject and object. Now when you see this, subject comes always before the verb and object comes always after the verb. So easily you can identify when it is before the verb, it is acting as a subjective case, and when it is after the verb, it takes the position of objective case. Now coming to the third case. What is the third case? Possessive case. So what is possessive case? Is it a new thing for us? No. We have already learned about possessive noun in your lower grades. What is possessive noun? When you show some ownership, when the noun shows some ownership, some belongingness to the object, takes the position of possessive case. Under this, there are some rules to be followed and it always comes with an apostrophe. It always, when it shows the possessiveness, it always comes with the apostrophe. Now see this first one. Singular nouns, noun forms their possessive case by adding apostrophe before the s. When your noun is singular, only one in number, then it shows some ownership, it shows some possessiveness, some belongingness. Then when you add the s to that noun, the apostrophe should be before the s. For example, here Madhu's bag. Whose bag it is? Madhu's bag. Madhu is the owner of the bag. So Madhu is a single person, singular noun, and when you add s to show possessiveness, the apostrophe should be before the s. The bag of Madhu. Now Kirtana's doll. The doll of Kirtana. The doll belongs to Kirtana. Kirtana is the owner. Now she is a singular noun. So when we add s to show the possessiveness, add apostrophe before the s there. So this positioning of apostrophe is very important in possessive case. This is the second rule in your possessive case. Singular nouns ending in s form their possessives by adding just apostrophe. See here, Viswas. Viswas spelling is itself as an s at the end. So we cannot put apostrophe in front of the s. So where should we put the apostrophe? After yes. The actress's performance. So this word also end with yes. So apostrophe should be after the yes, not the before the yes. It should be after yes. So we can see some more examples here. Shreya's dog. Now Shreyas is a single word, ends with yes, it's a singular noun. So where should be the apostrophe? At this place. It should not be here. This is wrong. It should be after yes. And Holmes cases. Here also it should come after the yes. So this is the second rule. Singular nouns ending in yes forms their possessives by adding just an apostrophe. It should be after the yes. Okay. Now in the case of plural nouns that ending with yes forms their possessives by adding again just the apostrophe. See this, the boys' book, the books of the boys. Where is this? After the yes. Similarly, the houses' roofs, the roofs of the houses. Where is the apostrophe? Here, after the yes. Now in the fourth case, plural noun that does not end with yes form their possessive by adding yes before, apostrophe before the yes. See the first one, the children's book. Whose book? The books of the children. Now yes is added here because child is a singular form and children is a plural form. Already it's in plural form. When we add yes, it shows the possessiveness, and when you show the possessiveness, yes, before the yes you should add apostrophe. And see the second one, second example, men's costumes, the costumes of the men. Now here, men, what is the singular form of this? Man becomes men when it is plural. So to show the possessiveness, we add yes here, and before the yes we put apostrophe to show the possessiveness. Now similarly, we have seen, let us see some more examples for plural noun that does not end with yes. See the first example, the woman laughter. Is it correct? No. When it shows the possessiveness, when you add yes and an apostrophe before this, then it becomes a possessive noun here. The women's laughter. See the second one, the children demand. So what we should add here? We should add yes and an apostrophe. So the children's demand. So when your plural noun which don't have an s at the end, we should add yes and add an apostrophe in before that. So it shows the possessiveness. Now let us go through this video as a recap. case today. It's time to do the exercise in your grammar grade book. Page number 15, 16 and 17 have exercise. Go through that, read the resource given and complete the exercise. Thank you. Have a nice day.